So after getting completely manhandled by the Saints week one in just horrific fashion, the news just keeps getting worse and worse for the Panthers. Derrick Brown, arguably their best player on the entire roster, defensive lineman, is potentially done for the year with a knee injury. This past offseason, he actually just signed a 4-year deal, $96 million. He earned a Pro Bowl nod last year with 103 tackles, 15 quarterback hits, and 2 sacks. This guy has been pretty consistent since entering the league, just like your classic defensive tackle to just plug up the run, just be a force there. And to be honest, since they traded away Burns, he's easily their best player on defense and probably on the whole roster since they don't have much offensively. And with how a year ago went for the Panthers and how this year is shaping up to go, I just feel like this is just pure karma for their owner, David Tepper. He has a lot of scummish stories over the past 3 years, and since the Washington Commanders got rid of Snyder, I feel like he's the next guy up to get the axe, to be honest. He's really the only bad guy owner currently left in the league right now, and like I just mentioned, there's a ton of stories about him being a scumbag. I mean, not only with like how he has ran the organization, but just like fan interactions as well. So I just feel like it's completely karma. The universe works in sometimes wonderful ways, unless you're a Carolina Panthers fan. And I know it's only one game and like it's really fun and easy to overreact, but the caveat to that is they did play the Saints and it was a divisional rival. Usually those types of games are a lot closer, especially week one. You have the extra time to be prepared and ready, and if that's how you come out just getting blown out, who knows, maybe the Saints can be a playoff team. I'm actually excited to see them go against the Cowboys. Before the season first started, I wasn't looking forward to that game at all, but the Saints have my attention for the time being. But I don't know if the Saints are a super top tier team. Like, if the Panthers went on the road against the 49ers or the Chiefs or Detroit or Houston and they got dismantled like that, I don't think anyone would really care that much because it's expected, right? But to get dismantled like that by Derrick Carr and for him to look like an all-time great quarterback week one, it's just not a good look, bro. It's just not a good look. Canales and company, I don't know. Bryce Young, first pass, throws a pick. I saw someone make a joke about what Bryce Young is doing to short quarterbacks. He's really giving them a bad reputation again. Prior to that, there was a lot of success with Russell Wilson, somewhat with Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray. And, I think Bryce has to be very thankful for those guys, because without those guys being successful, I don't think Bryce Young would ever go number one without the Baker Mayfields, the Kyler Murrays of the world. So, I don't know, man. Not looking good. But the Panthers are hosting the Chargers next week. Definitely a winnable game. The Chargers didn't look great at their home opener against the Raiders, so... And it's the Panthers' home opener. I doubt it's going to be a huge home field advantage. The attendance there has been struggling for the past 3 years now. So, yeah, not the best news if you're a Panthers fan overall. Let me know what y'all think about it. Let me know what y'all think about that opening game, Panthers-Saints. Pretty much the only blowout of the week, I believe, besides the Browns and the Cowboys off the top of my head. So, yeah, man. Not looking good. It's funny too, there was a lot of line movement going on prior to this game. A lot of people thought that the Panthers would maybe do something. A lot of people taking the Panthers to cover, and wow, dead wrong. And there was even some buzz around people taking the Panthers win total over this year. I'm not saying there was a lot of it, but there was some people who were actually interested in it, and I was just like, madness. And all those people have to be just having their head pretty low this morning, but it is what it is, bro. And I just hope Bryce Young could get it going to some extent. I mean, they brought in Deontay Johnson. He's been a productive machine in Pittsburgh, and that's a good receiver right there for him. And you still have Thielen going ham every once in a while, so it's not like he has completely nothing to work with. And I know it's only week 1, but I'm just hoping that Bryce Young and company look somewhat competent as the season progresses. But like I said, they have the Chargers week 2, then they go on the road to Las Vegas, and then the Bengals. Not a bad slate right there. Just try to get one win there, man. Just trying to get one win. At the Raiders, ideally you would want that game to be at home, just because I feel like those two teams are kind of close skill-wise, but we'll see how that turns out. In October, you have the Bears, Falcons, Commanders, and Broncos. Again, winnable slate right there, man. Winnable slate. Now, that Bears game is definitely circled on my sort of radar right now, just because it's at Chicago, and just the logistics of it overall, of really, Caleb Williams should have been a Panther if the Panthers never traded that first overall pick to the Bears in order to acquire Bryce Young. And that just might be a really depressing, sad funeral type day for just this Panthers franchise and what they could have had, but they wanted to jump the gun and they needed a quarterback in the 2023 draft. They couldn't have waited another year. And that was all David Temper too. He had his hands all up in that. I don't know, that could be the day of the Panthers franchise just going in complete hibernation, death squad mode. I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure, but definitely look forward to that game. But yeah, all in all, I know it's week 1. I know it's over. I know it's easy to overreact right now, but man, that was an ugly game, ugly performance. Hopefully Bryce Young bounces back. I don't want to see the dude flame out. He seems like a nice, likable, innocent guy, He's pretty easy to root for, even though he hasn't done a lot to warrant any rooting for. But I don't know. I just hope he gets it together. And the first 8 weeks, very winnable, not insane. So let me know what y'all think. Will Bryce Young and the Panthers turn it around, or will they go 0-17? That's all I got for right now. Peace.
We return out of the 2-minute warning. Fourth quarter action. Sims is going to secure the handoff. Defense calls a timeout. The long drive continues. Ready to make the stop on the goal line. Loading up that defensive front. Runs it across for the touchdown. The Rams Sims back on the field on offense. They've got to be pleased with the way their offense took shape on that previous drive, which went all the way for a touchdown.
Yeah, their calling card has always been the fact that they like to do both things. They're very conscious of running the football to keep a defense honest. They did that in the last drive, and then they take advantage of the fact they're running it well, and then they play action pass or drop back. They get good protection, and they make it happen.
Boy, it's been a good mix so far, both the pass and run.
Yeah, that's what you want. You want to mix it up, keep that defense